Welcome to Radical Finance. So, let me ask you something. What if your passion could start paying your bills? And look, I'm not talking about grinding away at some soul-crushing second job. Nope, we're talking about turning a hobby you already love into a real, actual source of income. Let's break down exactly how you can do that. Let's just start with a number, $500. What could an extra $500 a month do for you? And I'm serious, take a second and think about it. For some, that's a car payment gone. For others, it could be a huge chunk of your grocery bill or a serious boost to your savings account. It could be the freedom to finally invest in that other passion project you've been dreaming about. It's not, quit your job money, but it's a real, tangible amount that can create some serious breathing room in your budget. And the best part? It's a goal that is way more in reach than you might think. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. What if you didn't have to go learn some brand new, super complicated skill to make that money? What if the key to that extra $500 is something you already do, just for fun, something you're already pretty good at, something you're genuinely passionate about? See, this isn't about starting from square one. It's about looking at the skills you already have and just seeing them through a new lens, a financial one. So often when we think about making more money, our brains just automatically jump to these huge commitments, right? We think, oh man, I've got to go back to school, or I guess I have to get a grueling second job that I'm going to hate. It feels exhausting before you even start. This whole mindset can feel like a massive wall, but honestly, it's mostly a myth. The real solution, the thing that can get you started without all that hassle, it might literally be sitting right in front of you. It could be the knitting needles on your craft table, those woodworking tools in your garage, your weirdly amazing talent for organizing digital files on your computer, or even your secret family recipes for the best cookies on the planet. These aren't just little hobbies. They are highly developed skills. And you know what skills do? They solve problems for other people. And solving problems, well, that's the foundation of any business, big or small. Okay, so let's get into it. How do you actually build that bridge from a simple hobby to a side hustle that actually makes money? It's not about luck, it's about having a process. So we're going to walk through a simple 3-step framework to help you pinpoint your very own $500 idea. This is the practical, let's get it done part of our explainer. This framework right here is your roadmap. It's simple. First, you're just going to list your hobbies. And please don't filter yourself. Anything from planning amazing parties to somehow keeping all your houseplants alive. It all goes on the list. Second, and this part is key, you've got to identify the problem you solve. You don't just bake cookies. You provide amazing custom treats for special occasions. You see the difference? You're framing your skill as a solution. And finally, you got to test your idea. Before you go building a fancy website, just offer your service to a few friends or post about it on a local community forum. The whole goal here is to find out if people will actually pay for your solution before you sink a ton of time and money into it. So let's just pause on that first step for a second. What's a hobby that you're truly passionate about? I'd love to hear it. Drop it in the comments below. Seriously, reading through them can be so inspiring for everyone. And hey, if this framework is already sparking some ideas for you, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It's just a great way to let us know we're on the right track, and it helps this explainer reach more people who could really use it. All right, so your idea's picked out, you're getting excited, you're ready to go, but hold on, just for a second. Before you take another step, we have to talk about the one rule that you absolutely cannot ignore. This is a super important reality check that can save you from some major legal and professional headaches down the road. Seriously, ignoring this could put your main job at risk, so let's really pay attention here. You've done the fun, creative work. You've reframed your hobby as a business idea. But before you press go, before you launch anything, there is one crucial piece of homework you have to do. It is not the most exciting part, I promise you, but it's probably the most important. So what is this crucial step? It's all about something called a non-compete clause. Now, a ton of employment contracts have one of these buried in the fine print. In plain English, it's a legal agreement that basically says you won't start or even work for a competing business while you're employed and sometimes for a while after you leave. So for example, if you're a software developer for a big tech company, starting a side hustle where you develop mobile apps, that could be a huge problem. So where do you find this thing? You've got to dig out your original employment contract or look through your employee handbook. Read it carefully. And if you're even a little unsure about what the language means, it is always worth it to check with a legal professional. This single step protects your day job, and that's the whole foundation you're trying to build on. Honestly, this can be a really tricky thing to navigate. Have you ever run into issues with a non-compete clause? Maybe you had this amazing idea for a side business but realized it would conflict with your job. If you feel comfortable, share your experience in the comments. I think learning from each other's stories on a topic like this is incredibly valuable, and it can really help other people avoid some major problems. Okay, we've covered the creative idea, we've walked through the framework, and we've talked about that critical legal check. So now let's put it all together and figure out your next move to get you from just an idea to actually taking action. So let's just recap the whole blueprint. First and most importantly, remember that your hobbies have real, actual monetary value. Don't discount them. Second, follow that simple framework. List your hobbies, identify the problem you solve, and test your idea. Third, the non-negotiable step, always check for non-compete clauses. And finally, keep that very achievable goal in your mind, an extra $500 a month. If this whole breakdown was valuable for you, if it gave you some clarity, hitting that like button one more time really helps get this information out there to more people who might be thinking about the exact same thing. I want to leave you with this thought right here. Personal entrepreneurship isn't starting from scratch. It's about leveraging what you already are. This whole thing, this entire process, it isn't about trying to become some new person. It's about recognizing the value and the skills and the passion that is already inside you, and just finding a new way to offer it to the world. To keep learning with us and get more breakdowns just like this one, make sure you're subscribed to Radical Finance. And hey, if you know somebody with an amazing talent or a super cool hobby who's never even thought about monetizing it, share this explainer with them. You might just be the spark that helps them launch their next big idea. At the end of the day, this is the big takeaway. The skills you've spent years building through your hobbies are valuable. The time you've poured into your passions has created real, legitimate expertise. That part is not even a question. The only question that's left is the one you see right here. What are you going to build with it? Thanks for watching.